Hello friends, today we will study a play by John Arden and which is entitled Sergeant Musgrave's Dance. This play is about four private soldiers who are Sparky, Hurst, Attercliffe, and have Sergeant Musgrave as their head. They come to a British miners' colony after having stolen. I shouldn't say stolen, but without acknowledging the lifting of arms from a company, they come to a village which is a miner's village. Mining is the chief profession here, and the winter is just about to set. The village is such that it is cut off from the remaining part of the habitation by a stream which freezes and cuts this miners' colony from the adjoining places. These four are just in time into the village. The villagers take them as people who have come to give recruitments to the aspirants from the village because mining is not giving them any profit. And in fact, the people living in this village are so poor, they are not given their payment, due payment for the work they do by the mayor, that there is a kind of unrest already brewing among the villagers. It is at this point of time when the four army men enter in that the villagers are partly happy because this could bring them some kind of employment outside, and even the administrators are happy because they feel that these army men can be used to suppress the agitation that is being accorded to the administration. Now, actually, they have come here to settle their personal scores with the people living in the village. And the personal score was that there was a man working under Sergeant Musgrave by the name Billy Hicks, who was the native of this village and who got killed while there was a strife between the villagers and the ruling class. I don't think it is right for someone in the force to decide personal matters with the intention to kill 5 for 1. Sergeant Musgrave actually is blinded in his idea of settling the scores because he mistakes revenge for justice. He has come here to avenge himself, to settle the score of this man who was killed in the strife unintentionally, but he cannot, being the head of this person, being in charge of this man and his platoon, he cannot accommodate with the idea of this man having been killed. And he feels that this killing was unlawful and it is just right to kill others. Now we have also to understand that John Arden worked in the army as a soldier. And he knew it very well that this shouldn't be sanctioned. This unruly thought shouldn't be allowed to flourish. Though it was conceived of, the idea of this was conceived by Sergeant Musgrave, but then it shouldn't be executed because then there would be no end to killing. And in no case should revenge be realized as justice. Justice is something where we try to compensate for the wrongs done. It is a process of trying to justifiably bring one to reconciliation. The aggrieved one is brought to reconciliation and the wrongdoer only is punished. But it would not be right to believe that because you are in power, because you have the arms and ammunition with you, you would kill down any five. So this would be like a fission, a social fission, which would be very detrimental. And soldiers, of course, would not do that ever and should not do that also in this particular case of Sergeant Musgrave having brought his 3 subordinates. Now, among this, the incidents so happen that when they come and they do not tell their real purpose to anyone, and they actually see Billy Hicks' wife as having been so miserable as to have not only lost her husband but also lost the baby that was born very famished. So, driven by these two things, these two calamities, personal calamities, she is in fact partly not in possession of her sanity. And to add more the element of sadness more into it, it so happens that Hurst and Sparky and Lucy are in a mad triangle of love. Somehow, one of them is killed in the desire to make a claim upon Lucy, and the other one, now there are only 3 remaining. Sparky is killed, Hurst, Attercliffe and Musgrave are left. People also overhear the sound of a shot, and for which Musgrave and his 2 subordinates are forced to hide their arms. Meanwhile, the mayor approaches Musgrave with a request to suppress the agitation that is among the miners. And this Musgrave takes as an opportunity to work out his plans. There comes that final day on which Musgrave has decided to kill people and avenge himself for the wrong done on his subordinate Billy Hicks. he plants his Gatling gun in the center of the square in the village and dances around it, overjoyed that he will now put his plan into action. In the meantime, the dragoons, that is the regiment that finds out that arms are missing and 4 men are missing, come chasing them, and they cross the frozen river, and they come only to realize that, and they enter in on a small strip of the stream that had not frozen, and they come and find Musgrave, and in order to arrest them, shots are sent and Hurst is also killed. Now only Attercliffe and Musgrave are taken into captivity, and they are taken out to teach them what is what. It is understood that Musgrave has lost his balance of mind, and it would be just right to tutor him with while his imprisonment against his mistaking of the two aspects of revenge and justice. Now this is very special, that of the subordinates, Attercliffe is not killed. He is alive still. This Attercliffe was rebuked by his wife, who did not find any goodness in working in the army, because that according to her was killing, and that according to her was not good, and she had taken to run away from his life out to settle down with a vegetable vendor. So Attercliffe now has a duty, because he feels that destruction had separated him from his wife. So now in the prison where he is kept, he resorts to growing vegetables for the prisoners. And Musgrave will be in custody and tried for what he has done. What is very important in this play is our understanding of a soldier's opinion of a soldier's doing. How far is it right for anyone to kill the other? If for a national strife it may be sanctioned, but this cannot be sanctioned for a personal strife. That is why John Arden prevents the killing from taking place. This is a very carefully planned play in which pacifism is negated. No one should be pacified. We shouldn't go on to pacify the aggrieved hearts of the people who have lost their family members in any either political or in any social strife. This shouldn't continue. But what is most important is the title of the play. We have to look at the operative words, and the operative words being sergeant and dance. We have already discussed that sergeant shouldn't go on to mistake revenge for justice, because he ought to be a disciplined person. Discipline is the first quality, a virtue, which a soldier should have. And he is at the head of a troop. So he cannot, by any means, take a wrong decision. And comes the second operative word, dance. What is dance? Dance is the rhythmical, harmonic movement that has grace. Sergeant Musgrave's dance has no rhythm. His plans fail. First, Sparky is killed, then Hurst is shot dead, and he is still wanting to manage the revenge. No rhythm, no harmony also, because he has lost sense of the equation. 5 or even 1 cannot be equated with the death of 1. And then movement. If this is taken as a movement, and because sergeant is at the head of that regiment, this shouldn't go. So the mad dance that he performs is actually condemned by the soldier, that is John Arden. We shall see the actual incidents. I will supply you with a text that will give you the details, the detailed outline of this play, and then we can discuss what are the major themes on which John Arden wants to throw light through the character of the central character of Sergeant Musgrave and through the action of dance. This is all for today. Thank you.